Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and everything in between. I'm the Canadian, back with another N-Scale review video, and today we're looking at something a little bit bigger and different from my other reviews. My other reviews being more individual items, mainly locomotives. But today we're going to be looking at a set from the Athearn brand, and it's one I have been trying to find for a very long time. I actually got this set for my birthday. Shout out to my dad for that one, who miraculously found it. Because they make the locomotives for it, but they don't make the cars for it anymore. And the cars for out where I am, out in BC here, are almost impossible to find. That set being the commuter set for wow, that lighting sucks. West Coast Express, the F59PHI, and its matching Bombardier commuter cars. These ones painted in the West Coast Express paint scheme. I've managed to find some before. I have another F59PHI. It was in the Amtrak Surfliner paint scheme. I repainted it to my own personal paint scheme, and I have one other Bombardier passenger car, cab car for Go Transit. But I've never been able to find West Coast Express. West Coast Express, if you're familiar with the Fraser Valley area, is a TransLink commuter service from Mission, BC down to Waterfront in Vancouver. There's about 8 stops in between Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows, Ridge Meadows, Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, Haney, and all that. This is the N-Scale version. And I finally got one. And I'm going to review it for you. And I like this set. I'm going to start off with the locomotive. Trying to put the cars on a level surface so they don't fall off. Comes in this. I like the Athearn type cases. So it just pulls off. And then, now when I got it, the front pilot was not attached. It just pops on with clips. Really easy. So here is the locomotive itself. I'm going to move so that there is some more light. I'm also changing my filming setup here from the layout to my program track, just so that because my 10 subscriber special I had going on, so it's been set up for that. Camouflage, you can't see me. You shouldn't see me. Okay, that looks like there's some more light. Using natural light can be a pain sometimes, especially later in the day. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So as you can see here, the F59PHI was a commuter locomotive, EMD built for several railroads, this one being West Coast Express. It's a very nice locomotive. There is a sprue that comes in the box with all of the handrails as well. Focus. That comes with all the handrails for the side, as well as a few extras. Because, depending on which one you got, you'll need them. So, this locomotive, there's no power to this track, so we're not going to be running it on this track. I'll move it over to the layout when we're done here. So let's take a look at this locomotive here. The painting is very nice on this locomotive. Very crisp, I'm going to lower it so we can see it. The lines on this locomotive are very smooth, except for a couple spots where it's like going into, where's my pen? There it is, that's way better. Going into the radiators here. There's a little bit of jaggedness in between the grills, but you don't really notice it unless you're like really looking at it. The deckling on here is very nice as well. You have the West Coast Express, you can't see that, West Coast Express logo, as well as the wording there. This locomotive is 904. The numbering is very nice on it. And that front panel right there, the battery box, is the TransLink logo. TransLink being the Metro Vancouver Regional Transit kind of thing. It's not the provincial one. You'll see it in the lower mainland of BC, Langley, Maple Ridge, Vancouver, Port Coquitlam, Richmond, Surrey, yada 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 yada. Going to the front of the locomotive, you can see 3 windshields are picked out nicely. Each one has a molded in and painted windshield wiper. The headlight, there's a dual headlight with an angled jewel in the center of it with number boards on each side. The number boards do not light up. Right below that, you have its ditch lights and its reverse lights. The reverse lights are non-operational, but I believe if you change it to DCC, that can change. This is a DC model. And then below that, you have its plow, molded in the purple. It is an individual part. And then a Microtrains compatible coupler was added to this. Underside detail, nothing really much to see here. The trucks are nicely detailed Blumberg trucks. Very nice. As well as added molding on the side here for the step ladder up to the cab. Can you see that? I should be looking through the camera instead of at the model. The other side is pretty much the same. Does not have the TransLink logo. Instead, it has a grill right there, as is the prototype. Pretty much the same deal. And then the back has a back railing on it that's already put on. There is a back headlight here, which does light up. And the number is printed right on the back on the white section. Again, on the back, there's some molded detail in it. And then a Microtrains compatible coupler. This model, I had some trouble with it. It had something to do with the light board. So we did take the light board out, and it works just fine. So when I'm running this, you're not going to be seeing lights on it. In the future, I do have the decoder for it. So hopefully we'll be able to fix that. And then the top of the locomotive here. Well, lighting in the late day sucks. Very nice. You have recess points here where they have all the detail. The point of this locomotive was to be aerodynamic to conserve on fuel use. So all the curved edges were built around all the fans and radiators. Have the dynamic brake here. The exhaust stack is molded in with the horn right behind it. This piece here in the center is an individual piece. It's kind of like a divider between the fans and all the other details. There are some cutouts here for grills. And then you have your radiator fans in the back here, molded nicely. They're not see-through. You have 3 purple and 1 white. And then the colors just wrap all around. So that's it for the locomotive. Now, let's get into the cars. Now the cars come in a pack of 3 or individual. I have the pack of 3. And it consists of 2 coaches and cab car. And it's in a plastic clamshell kind of packaging. Oh, it's tight to get off. I'm rearranging my camera here. That should work. Okay. So first, we'll take a look at the cab car. The coaches in the cab car are pretty much the same, except for, of course, the one end. And they are quite nice. Matching paint scheme to the locomotive for West Coast Express. You can see along the top here, one end is white, the other is yellow. The yellow always goes to the front. And you can see there are emergency hatches molded on the top. Why am I using my finger? Where is my pointy pen? Here it is. Molded along the top here with venting and rivets going around it. Very nice. There are individually applied grab irons on both the front and the back. Focusing in on the cab end, the purple goes down into an arrow type configuration with 3 windows, one in the center at the door in the vestibule, and then one on each side. One side is the driver's side. Other details you can see is headlight, ditch lights, and rear end lights. None of these lights can come on with power. And then the number boards are as well. This car number is 108. Along the top here, you can see more individual grab irons, as well as the ones that encase the horn and the bell right next to it. And then as well with the windows here, there are molded in, not painted, but molded in windshield wipers. And then on the prototype, underneath the vestibule here, there is a plow, but there isn't one on this model due to the couplers. The couplers being truck mounted, so they swing back and forth. They use the whole area of this road. They couldn't put a plow on. But speaking of the bottom here, I'm changing camera views again because lighting. Late afternoon is terrible. I need to get a light set up. The bottom is nicely detailed. It is metal for weight. And as you can see, the trucks are held on with screws here. You can see the ribbing as well as all the air lines and reservoirs in here. The trucks are inside bearing trucks, so there is no frame on the outside of it. And you can see the molding on the trucks there with the brake pads on the edges. And they've mimicked along the wheel faces which one has the brake pad on it by having one darker wheel and then one lighter chromed wheel to show wear. Looking at the side of the car itself here, both sides are the same. You have the West Coast Express logo across the center, the number, the TransLink logos, or no, that's the West Coast Express logos on each side, with handicap and non-smoking logos right next to the doors. Here's the TransLink logo right there. And another logo that looks like an emergency handle logo The steps that come out when the door opens are painted along the bottom. And there is also an interior as well. And then there are ventilation grills molded along the tops. And then truck access doors molded in the bottom there. Again. And then as well, on the ends of the cars there is a B end and an A end with a small F symbolizing forward for push-pull operation. And then the back here, again, no detail due to the couplers, but nice smooth purple and yellow with the white in the middle. Door with a molded in handle. The vestibule. And the numbers. So that's it for the cab car. I'll now bring out the coaches. Both these coaches are the same, except for the numbers. So I'll just be looking at one, but the numbers are 304 and 307. We're going to be looking at number 307. And as I'm pulling these out, I'm putting everything on the track here. So 307, the coach, pretty much the same thing. Yellow at the front, white at the back. I'm not really going to go into detail with that. But the ends, you can tell, they're the same. Same painting logos, the West Coast Express logos. TransLink is very small logo on each side of the door. And then you have the handicap, no smoking, and the emergency door. As well as A and B ends. And again, see them on the other side. So with that out of the way, I am going to turn the camera around. And we're going to take a look at the set on the track. Here is the set. I'm just moving boxes off. On the track, and I'm just putting the locomotive on as well. And here is the full set. In the future, if I can find them, I'll probably get individual cars to make it a little bit longer, but this is a nice length right for now. So, we're going to get it running here. Runs very smoothly in the forward position. As you can see, it does not light up. We did have to take the light board out. But for the decoder, it's going to be a Digitrax decoder we put in. We do need the light board for it. So now we'll go backwards for push-pull. It is a very nice set. Judging by how hard it is to find, I'm guessing it's a very sought-after set, especially for West Coast modelers, West Coast BC modelers. I've gone on lots of. I found a lot of Go Transit and a lot of the American commuters like Sounder, Coaster, Tri-Rail, but I've never been able to find West Coast Express. So again, massive shout out to my dad who somehow managed to find this. And that pretty much sums up this video. If you like this video, press the like button. If you want more, subscribe. I'm just going to park this at the station here. Don't forget to leave a comment. Leave your thoughts and ideas. I'll see you in the next video.